tayo para malaman ito.
Ariwal ma'am, excuse me lang po. Ano siya yung choppy, parang may ground. Ganun pa rin po ma'am.
Haribo, Krishna Krishna.
Ma'am, okay na po.
Ay,
Okay na po yung
salamat.
mic niyo.
Okay, Haribo. Lang si Sir. Namaong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutade Srimate Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Itinamine Namaong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Itinamine Namo Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Mura Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayate Namo Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Mura Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayate Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadeko Bhaktavinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadeko Bhaktavinda Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Lord Nrsimhadev Jaya Jaya Prahlad Maharaj 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada 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 Haribol. Salamat po. Ang Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale. Kay Mata Sida Swami.
Maraming salamat, Eline. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Let us all pray. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa iti namine Vajra Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adigor Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Thank you very much, Rhea. So, we are now going to continue our reading and discussion. We are still on count to 2. Okay, who is our first reader?
Sir Pravin po, text.
Yeah, Mr. Pravin, go ahead.
Haribol.
Haribo.
We are all at text 34, right?
Yeah,
34.
text 34. Yeah.
Thus, all universes remain thousands of eons within the water, the causal ocean, and the Lord of living beings, entering in each of them, caused them to be fully animated. The Lord is described here as the Jeev because he is the leader of all other Jeev, that is, living entities. In the Ved, he is described as the Nitya, the leader of all Nitya. The Lord's relation with the living entities is like that of the father with the sons. The sons and the father are qualitatively equal, but the father is never the son, nor is the son ever the father who begets. So, as described above, the Lord, as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu or Hiranyagarbha Supersoul, enters into each and every universe and causes it to be animated by begetting the living entities within the womb of the material nature, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text 3. After each annihilation of the material creation, all the living entities are merged within the body of the Lord, and after creation, they are again impregnated within the material energy. In material existence, therefore, the material energy is seemingly the mother of the living entities, and the Lord is the Father. When, however, the animation takes place, the living entities revive their own natural activities under the spell of time and energy, and thus the varieties of living beings are manifested. The Lord, therefore, is ultimately the cause of all animation in the material world. Haribol.
Haribo. Thank you very much, Mr. Pravin. So, the material cosmic manifestation, the material world, continuously creates and destroys like that. But of course, we can, because of our tiny little brain, sometimes we don't really appreciate the magnitude of the time factor involved. No? Trillions and trillions and trillions of years, Earth years, are spent before the total annihilation. Remember, in each universe there is what is known as the partial annihilation. But when Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu, inhales again, all the universes that has come out from his body and his nostrils are again destroyed. In other words, when it is destroyed, it comes back again to his material, into his body. Okay, so This is the process of creation in the material world. I'm sure many of you have already heard about the process, no, the details of this process. So I don't need to explain it again. So, but the fact remains that Lord Vishnu, from Mahavishnu to Garbhodakasai Vishnu, and Hiranyagarbha Vishnu or Kshirodakasai Vishnu, okay? This is the process. Kshirodakasai Vishnu, who is also Lord Vishnu, expands and comes into all the different bodies of living entities. So, when the living entity has not yet graduated, has not yet gone back to Krishna in the process of his many different lifetimes here in the material world, and is caught in that final annihilation when Lord Vishnu inhales again, it is described that he is merged into the body of Lord Vishnu, okay, and stays there for a while. It doesn't mean, when you say merge, it doesn't mean that he has lost his identity. Our identity is always active. But sometimes during the merge condition, we just forget our existence, but never loses our existence. This is the difference. Yeah. The Mayavadim personally say that when they merge into the body of Lord Vishnu, okay, that they lose their identity. Nobody loses their identity. Our identity is always existing. But sometimes we forget the awareness that we're actually an eternal living being. And then when Lord Vishnu exhales again, there is the process of creation all over again in the whole of the universe or universes. Okay, so let's continue our reading.
From Sharni.
Sharni, go ahead. 35.
35.
You may read 35 and 36.
Okay. The Lord Mahavishnu, lying in the causal ocean, came out of it and, dividing himself as Hiranyakashipu, he entered into each universe and assumed the Virat Rupa with thousands of legs, arms, mouths, feet, heads, etc. The expansions of the planetary systems within each and every universe are situated in the different parts of the Virat Rupa, or the universal form of the Lord, and they are described as follows. Text 36. Greek philosophers imagine that the complete planetary systems in the universe are displays of the different upper and lower limbs of the universal body of the Lord. The word kalpayanti or imagine is significant. The Virat universal form of the Absolute is an imagination of the speculative philosophers who are unable to adjust to the eternal, two-handed form of the Lord Sri Krishna. Although the universal form, as imagined by the great philosophers, is one of the features of the Lord, it is more or less imaginary. It is said that the 7 upper planetary systems are situated above the waist of the universal form, whereas the lower planetary systems are situated below his waist. The idea impressed herein is that the Supreme Lord is conscious of every part of his body, and nowhere in the creation is there anything beyond his control.
Okay.
That's for
Thank you very much, Shani.
Bhagavatam.
Haribo, namaste. So, that is still part of the creation, no? When Mahavishnu lies in the coastal ocean, okay, when he lies into the coastal ocean, all these different universes come out from his body, and then he expands himself as Garbo, the Kasai Vishnu, and he enters into each and every universes. He enters into that and lies down into what is known as the Garba Ocean. That is where Lord Brahma is born. Okay, living entities are not yet there. It is just the process of Lord Vishnu going to each and every universes. Okay. Now, Mahavishnu further expands himself after Lord Brahma has been born. When Lord Brahma has been born in the Garba Ocean, okay, all these different planets. So each universe has its own Lord Brahma, and each universe has to because it is material universe, it has to go through the process of creation, and Lord Brahma is designated to create all the bodies of the living beings. Now, when we say create, we don't mean that Lord Brahma creates the living entities or creates the living beings. No? He did not create the living beings. The living beings are already there. But what he does is to create all the material forms associated with the material world. The planets, the sun and the moon, stars. Simultaneously, Lord Brahma creates all of these different manifestations. And then when the bodies are already there, the living beings, the spirit souls, who was once merged into the body of Lord Vishnu, comes out and inhabit their respective bodies. Kumbaga, itinutuloy lamang po nila yung hindi nila natapos in the previous millenniums. There is no need for a living being to do that if in this lifetime, in a certain lifetime, they have already graduated. When you have graduated and went back to Krishna in the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, or went back to the spiritual world, he doesn't need to undergo such a process because he is already there. In other words, if the living being becomes perfect and goes back to Krishna again, yeah, in the spiritual world, okay, there is no point that he's coming back to the material world. And that is declared by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Once my devotees come back to me in the spiritual world, they shall never ever return. So once you are there, you cannot return again. Unless you're an impersonalist and you may probably you were merged into the impersonal feature of Krishna. When you are merged into the impersonal feature of Krishna, okay, by the process of these different yoga systems, okay, Astanga Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, etc., Raja Yoga, you will have the opportunity to go to the spiritual world but not enter the planets of the spiritual world. You only get to merge in the atmosphere of the spiritual world. The atmosphere is sometimes known as the impersonal feature of Krishna. That is the atmosphere. You are in the spiritual world, but you have not entered into the spiritual planets, because in the spiritual world there are spiritual planets also, just like in the material world there are innumerable universes and planets. In the spiritual world it is like that too. Okay, so let us continue our reading again.
Okay po
Haribo.
yung sound ko, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay po yung sound ko, sir.
Yes. I-maintain mo lang yung sound niya. I-maintain mo lang.
Text 37.
Mm.
The Brahmanas represent his mouth, the Kshatriya his arms, the Vaishyas his thigh, and the Sudras are born of his legs. All living beings are stated to be the parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and how they are so is explained in this verse. The four divisions of human society, namely the intelligent class or the Brahmanas, the administrative class or the Kshatriyas, the mercantile class or the Vaishyas, and the laborer class, the Sudras, are all in different parts of the body of the Lord. As such, no one is different from the Lord. The mouth of the body and the legs of the body are non-different constitutionally, but the mouth or the head of the body is qualitatively more important than the legs. At the same time, the mouth, the legs, the arms, and the thighs are all component parts of the body. These limbs of the body of the Lord are meant to serve the complete whole. The mouth is meant for speaking and eating. The arms are meant for the production of the body. The legs are meant
Protection.
for carrying the body.
For the protection of the body.
For the protection of the body, sorry. The legs are meant for carrying the body, and the waist of the body is meant for maintaining the body. The intelligent class in society, therefore, must speak on behalf of the body as well as accept foodstuff to satisfy the hunger of the body. The hunger of the Lord is to accept the fruits of sacrifice. The Brahmanas or the intelligent class must be very expert in performing such sacrifices, and the subordinate classes must join in such sacrifices. To speak for the Supreme Lord means to glorify the Lord by means of propagating the knowledge of the Lord as it is, broadcasting the factual nature of the Lord and the factual position of all other parts of the whole body. The Brahmanas therefore are required to know the Vedas, or the ultimate source of knowledge. Veda means knowledge, and Anta means the end of it. According to Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is the source of everything, and thus, the end of all knowledge is to know the Lord, to know our relationship with Him, and to act according to that relationship only. The parts of the body are related to the body. Similarly, the living being must know his relationship with the Lord. The human life is especially meant for this purpose, namely, to know the factual relationship of every living being with the Supreme Lord. Without knowing this relationship, the human life is spoiled. The intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, are therefore especially responsible for broadcasting this knowledge of our relationship with the Lord and leading the general mass of people to the right path. The administrative class is meant for protecting the living beings so that they can serve this purpose. The mercantile class is meant for producing food, grains, and distributing them to the complete human society so that the whole population is given a chance to live comfortably and discharge the duties of human life. The mercantile class is also required to give protection to the cows in order to get sufficient milk and milk products, which alone can give the proper health and intelligence to maintain a civilization perfectly meant for knowledge of the ultimate truth. And the laborer class, who are neither intelligent nor powerful, can help by physical services to the other higher classes and thus be benefited by their cooperation. Therefore, the universe is a complete unit in relationship with the Lord. And without this relationship with the Lord, the whole human society is disturbed and is without any peace and prosperity. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Haribol.
Haribol, thank you. Rhea, maraming salamat. So, Krishna created these 4 divisions of society, okay, to make it so that it becomes easier for the living beings, especially for the human society, to live a peaceful and prosperous life in this world, so that it will it won't be hard for him to achieve the goal of life. In other words, Krishna helps each and every living being to achieve spiritual perfection while they are in the material world. So Krishna, although he respects our freedom, although he doesn't interfere what we want to do in life, okay, he still gives us facilities. He still gives us all the facility in the world so that we can come back to him. That is the magnanimous nature of Krishna. So he has divided the society with the 4 divisions: the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Sudras. No? The Brahmanas are considered to be the intelligent class of men, where they study the Vedanta, they study the Vedas, etc. Yeah, and try to help the Lord in giving in giving spiritual wisdom to all the classes. The administrative staff or the administrative division known as the Kshatriyas, they are also there, yeah, to administer society. That's why whether we like it or not, these four classes are existing since time immemorial. Even if you don't know anything about the four divisions of human society, it is always there. Can you imagine a society where everybody is a Brahmana, or where everyone is a Vaishya, or where everyone is a Sudra? Of course, there's going to be chaos and confusion. Yeah, if there was no Sudras, for instance, who is going to do the so-called dirty jobs right now in the world? Even though people do not know the four divisions of human society, we can see this in our own society. We can see in all of the governments in the world, we can see these four divisions. Kasi it is necessary. The Vaishyas take care of the, so it's like the one whole body. Okay, it's described that the head is the Brahmanas. Okay, the arms and the chest are the Kshatriyas, because they're the ones doing the administration of the human society. And then you have the legs, or which are called the Vaishyas, the legs or the the Vaishyas are there to help us in our everyday life by eating. The Vaishyas are the mercantile class. They're responsible for feeding the body. So all of these are there as designed by Krishna. And of course, the legs and feet. The feet are considered to be the Sudras, because they're there to serve the three classes. Whether we like it or not, whether people are educated with this knowledge or not, it is always there in human society. Okay, if you got any questions later, please do so. Please just ask, okay? Continue tayo.
Text 38.
Go ahead.
The lower planetary systems, up to the limit of the earthly stratum, are said to be situated in his legs. The middle planetary systems, beginning from Bhuvarlok, are situated in his navel, and the still higher planetary systems, occupied by the demigods and highly cultured sages and saints, are situated in the chest of the Supreme Lord. There are 14 spheres of planetary systems within this universe. The lower systems are called Bhurlok, the middle systems are called Bhuvarlok, and the higher planetary systems up to Brahmalok, the highest planetary system of the universe, are called Swarlok. And all of them are situated in the body of the Lord. In other words, no one within this universe is without a relationship with the Lord.
You
So
can
as I
read.
read-
Yeah, you can continue reading.
Text 39. From the forefront of the chest up to the neck of the universal form of the Lord are situated the planetary systems named Janalok and Tapolok, whereas Satyalok, the topmost planetary system, is situated in the head of the form. The spiritual planets, however, are eternal. Many times in these pages, we have discussed the spiritual planets situated beyond the material sky, and the description is corroborated in this verse. The word Sanatan is significant. This very idea of eternity is expressed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 20, where it is said that beyond the material creation is the spiritual sky, where everything is eternal. Sometimes Satyalok, the planet in which Brahma resides, is also called Brahmalok. But the Brahmalok mentioned here is not the same as the Satyalok planetary system. This Brahmalok is eternal, whereas Satyalok planetary system is not eternal. And to distinguish between the two, the adjective Sanatan has been used in this case. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, this Brahmalok is the lok or abode of Brahman or the Supreme Lord. In the spiritual sky, all the planets are as good as the Lord Himself. The Lord is all spirit, and His name, fame, glories, qualities, pastimes, etc. are all non-different from Him because He is absolute. As such, the planets in the kingdom of God are also non-different from Him. In those planets, there is no difference between the body and the soul, nor is there any difference of time as we experience it in the material world.
Now,
And
there are any influence, nor is there any influence.
nor is there any influence of time as we experience it in the material world. And in addition to there being no influence of time, the planets in Brahmalok, due to being spiritual, are never annihilated. All variegatedness in the spiritual planets is also one with the Lord, and therefore the Vedic aphorism Ekam Eva Ditiyam is fully realized in that Sanatan atmosphere of spiritual variegatedness. This material world is only a shadow of phantasmagoria of the spiritual kingdom of the Lord, and because it is a shadow, it is never eternal. The variegatedness in the material world of duality, spirit and matter, cannot be compared to that of the spiritual world. Because of a poor fund of knowledge, less intelligent persons sometimes mistake the conditions of the shadow world to be equivalent to those of the spiritual world, and thus any mistake the Lord and His pastimes in the material world, and thus they mistake the Lord and His pastimes in the material world to be one with the conditioned souls and their activities. The Lord condemns such less intelligent persons in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 11. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam jananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Where the Lord incarnates, He does so in His eternal potency, Atma Maya, and less intelligent persons mistake Him to be one of the material creations. Srila Sridhar Swami, therefore, rightly commenting on this verse, says that the Brahmalok mentioned here is Vaikuntha, the kingdom of God, which is Sanatan or eternal, and is therefore not exactly like the material creations described above. The Virat universal form of the Lord is an imagination of the for the material world. It has nothing to do with the spiritual world or the kingdom of God. Haribol.
Haribol, thank you very much, Mr. Pravin. So, there is a great difference, no? Between the Brahmaloka and Satyaloka. The Brahmaloka is actually part of the spiritual world ng Brahmaloka. No? Where during the annihilation of the universes, Brahmaloka is not destroyed. So it is described here that the Satyaloka is the material home of Lord Brahma. Okay, Satya Loka. Now, all these different planetary systems here, consisting of three divisions in the material world. You have the upper planetary systems, where you have the planets of all the demigods and the heavenly planets, and then you have the intermediary planets where Earth is part of. Okay, and then you have the lower planetary systems, where you find all the different lower planetary systems or hellish planetary systems. It is all described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The conditions of these different planetary systems. It is arranged as such by Krishna, okay, so that the living beings will be able to live properly in the material existence, even though they're already in the lower planetary systems, or Patala Loka. Patala Loka is the lower planetary systems. They are still able to live their lives, okay, in such a way that they still have a chance to go up. They still have a chance, in their many different lifetimes, come to the point of, they can lift themselves up in the intermediary planets such as Earth, so that they'll be given the chance to come back to Krishna, study the Vedantas, meet devotees of Krishna, engage in devotional service like this, so that they will have every chance to come back to Krishna. So this idea of the so-called religions of the world right now, so-called religious groups in this world right now, who says that when a person falls down to hell, to a hellish condition, in other words, in the Christian world, Catholicism, for instance, they teach that when a person commits a mortal sin, that he doesn't have the ability, he doesn't have the opportunity to ever go back to God. Now, this is totally nonsense. This is not in harmony with scriptures. It is not in harmony with the Vedas nor the Vedanta Sutras. Imagine you are in a hellish condition. You have been thrown into the hellish world. And then all of a sudden there is a change of heart that happens. Because you are eternal, and our nature is that we desire love. We desire to love and be loved by somebody. Now that nature of ours, when it becomes prominent, we miss serving. We miss serving God. Now, what happens when they say that you cannot return to the spiritual world anymore? When you're thrown into the hellish conditions, you're going to burn there for the rest of eternity. This defies the ever mercy of Krishna. And they admit that God is all good. They admit that God is all just. But how come they say that you cannot return to God anymore? That you're going to get burned in that situation. All of Christendom are teaching this. Even the Holy Quran, their priestly orders are teaching this as well. Many so-called religions of the world are actually teaching this. What purpose? What is the purpose of them teaching this? The purpose really is to instill fear in the hearts of men. Okay? If you're not going to be good right now in this world, you will be cast down to hell. Instead of telling the truth to the people, okay, or to their followers, they'd rather tell lies and instill fear. In a sense, I heard Srila Prabhupada once said that they may have good intentions. They may have good intentions because by saying that that you will be burnt eternally in the hellish conditions, that it can make you realize that I need to be serious in my spiritual life. The intention is there, but the problem is they do not further explain why this is so. Each and every living being is a child of Krishna. And each and every living being, they have every right to serve or not to serve Krishna. So Krishna arranged it so that if you don't want to serve him, you will stay in the material world. You will stay here in the material world. And the material world, is full of suffering, is full of anxiety, is full of pain. Just enough so that you will be able to understand while experiencing all this pain, you will finally understand that I am not from here. I am not from the material world. I am not from this material world. I am not matter. I need to engage in in my natural condition of being a devotee of God. Because after all, we are all devotees of Krishna. So, if you try to look at it closely, being in the material world, is part. The material world is actually part of the hellish world. I mean, generally, no. Why? Because even if you're in the middle planetary systems, or even if you're in the upper planetary systems where the demigods are, yeah, you're still are away from the association, the sweet association of Krishna. So that's why the goal of life is to get out as soon as possible, to get out from the clutches of material existence in the material world. That is the goal of life. That you totally get out from these dualities of life in the material world. So whether you are in the upper, intermediary, or lower planetary systems, one must have this desire to get out from the material world. That is the perfection of human society. The spiritual world is not the material world. The material world, it has its own characteristics, and the spiritual world has its own characteristics. The material world is always limited. It is always temporary. Yeah. And it is always full of suffering and pain. Full of suffering and pain. No such thing in the spiritual world. The spiritual world, time is endless. There's no such thing as time in the spiritual world. Kala. No time. It is always the present. Only in the material sphere does time exists. That's why here in the material world we have such a thing as yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And this unnecessarily throws the living entities into anxiety, because he will still be thinking about tomorrow. Yeah, I need to do this now for tomorrow, like that. Oh, I am suffering right now because of what I did yesterday, like that. So the time factor is actually part of the misery of the living beings. Whereas in the spiritual world, it's always the present. It is always the present. And the happiness derived from being in the spiritual world is ever increasing happiness. So you don't concern yourself about tomorrow, you don't concern yourself about yesterday, you only are concerned about now, how you can serve Krishna increasingly day by day. Okay? If you have any questions, you may ask. No questions? If there's no questions, let's have kirtan. Sino yung magkikirtan ngayon? Ano? Rhea?
Ay po, Sir Isaac, pwede po kayo. Sir Isaac and family.
Haribol.
Haribol, Mr. Isaac.
Namao Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Tida Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vatsade Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radharamana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Madana Mohana Haribo Haribo Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Haribo Haribo Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Haribo Haribo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste Narasimhaya, Lalaya Lalaya Hiranya Ashikormacha, Silalankana Kalaya, Tona Shida Karatona Shindu, Yato 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 Shinda, Yamena Shindo Ledayena Shindo, Saranam Brahmadai, Kamapalakam Navarenakam, Aduta Sriya, Dalita Hiranyakasiku, Danobrita, Deshavarita, Narahariruta, Jagarisha Hare, Jaya Jagarisha Hare, Jaya Jagarisha Hare, Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Sida Swarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Nrsimhadev.
Jaya Nashingadev, Jaya Krishna. Thank you very much, Isaac, Leo, and Krishna Dasi. Maraming salamat for the wonderful Jaya Krishna. Salam. Okay, so Lord Nashingadev's appearance day will be on May 3. May 3 and Saturday, Friday ba yan? I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure if it's a Friday or a Saturday. Yeah. So we will be discussing the pastimes of Lord Nashingadev on Friday. Now our next meeting. Okay. So
Akala ko din bukas, Lord Day.
bukas is the VG.
May 3 Sunday po yung celebration.
Sunday yun. Bukas is the VG. Kala ko din bukas eh. Inano ko in-inquire ko maigi. So anyway, I'd like to thank our admin, si Rhea, of course, our opening kirtan also, si Elinette and Jam, Abam, rather, Bam. Thank you very much sa inyo. Tapos, all the readers, of course, you have Praveen and Shani. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Praveen. Yeah. And everyone who has participated in tonight's class. Maraming salamat po. Over to you, Rhea.
Thank you very much din po, Sir Radha, and thank you, Sir George, for co-hosting at sa lahat po ng readers natin at participants who attended. Haribol Namaste, Jaya Lord Nashingadev, Jaya Gurudev, Haribol.
Haribol, thank you. Thank you very much. Janner, thank you,
Krishna Krishna, Haribol.
Haribol,
Signing off
Jai
po.
Krishna.